Have you ever been in one of those moments where you catch her looking at you and she looks away just a second too late? Not awkwardly, not accidentally, but long enough that something in your chest notices it before your brain does. Maybe you're standing in line together with friends. Maybe you're talking about something completely random, and for a split second, the room goes quiet in your head because her eyes stay on you just a little longer than normal. And suddenly, your mind starts racing. Wait, was that intentional? Is she flirting with me? Or am I reading too much into this again? Why does this feel different? Here's the thing nobody explains, bro. Flirting usually doesn't begin with words. It begins with attention. Not rehearsed pickup lines, not obvious compliments, not movie scene chemistry, but tiny moments where someone's nervous system starts turning toward you before they even fully realize they're doing it themselves. Because when someone is genuinely attracted to you, their body almost always reveals it before their mouth does. And if you've been missing these signs, you're not clueless. You're not bad with women. Most people were simply never taught what real attraction actually looks like beneath the surface. By the end of this video, you'll understand the subtle psychological signs that reveal genuine interest, including the famous 3-second stare, and you'll stop confusing politeness, friendliness, and real emotional attraction ever again. Let's get into it. Most people think flirting is obvious. They think attraction looks like dramatic compliments, constant touching, or someone practically announcing they like you out loud. But the real truth is that genuine attraction is usually quieter than that, more subtle, more nervous, more revealing. Because when someone likes you, their nervous system starts behaving differently around you before they consciously organize those feelings into words. That's why attraction often looks confusing in the beginning. She teases you, but seems shy afterward. She pulls closer, then suddenly gets quiet. She looks confident one second and emotionally exposed the next. Most couples, and honestly most people in relationships, completely misunderstand this phase because they assume attraction is about performance. But real attraction is about emotional attention, who someone notices, who they remember, who their body unconsciously turns toward. And here's what changes everything. The strongest flirting signs are rarely the loudest ones. They're the tiny, unspoken moments where someone keeps emotionally reaching for you without realizing how obvious they're becoming. That's what you're learning to notice today. Not games, not manipulation, not decoding every human interaction like a detective. Just understanding the real patterns of human connection. And once you see them, man, you can't unsee them. 1. The 3-second stare. Here's the part no one talks about. Eye contact becomes different when attraction enters the room. Most people in relationships make quick, functional eye contact all day long. But when someone is emotionally drawn to you, their attention lingers because their nervous system is trying to emotionally hold on to the moment a little longer. That's what the 3-second stare really is. Not staring aggressively, not trying to seduce you, not some calculated trick from social media. It's someone unconsciously pausing on you because you feel emotionally stimulating to them. And here's the deeper truth beneath the surface. When someone likes you, their brain becomes more reward sensitive around you. They start studying your expressions longer, watching your reactions longer, staying emotionally present with you longer. A disconnecting version looks like this. You say something funny, she laughs politely, then immediately scans the room or checks her phone. But the connecting version feels different. You say something simple. She holds eye contact just a beat too long afterward, and something in her quietly says, I like being here with him. That's why the moment feels charged even if nothing big happened. And when you notice that kind of presence, the interaction stops feeling performative and starts feeling real. 2. She remembers tiny details. And this is the one most couples never figure out. Attention is one of the purest forms of attraction. Most people only remember information they emotionally attach meaning to. So when she remembers some random thing you mentioned 3 weeks ago, that usually isn't accidental. It's emotional investment. Most people in relationships assume flirting has to look dramatic. But beneath the surface, attraction often sounds more like, how did she even remember that? Because emotionally available people don't just hear you, they store you. The deeper psychology here is important. When someone likes you, your words carry emotional weight inside their nervous system. Their brain tags small details about you as important because you are becoming important. A disconnecting moment looks like this. You casually mention your favorite childhood snack. She nods and forgets it immediately. But the connecting version? A week later, she walks past a store and says, wait, wasn't this the thing you said you used to eat all the time? And your brain instantly registers, she pays attention to me differently. Not because of the snack, because of what remembering means emotionally. And when someone consistently remembers the small things, the walls between you start coming down without either of you forcing it. 3. Her voice changes around you. This is where it gets really interesting. Your nervous system changes your behavior around people you feel emotionally pulled toward. And voice is one of the biggest giveaways. Most couples never notice this because they're too focused on words instead of energy. But attraction changes tone, rhythm, warmth, presence. Sometimes she speaks softer around you. Sometimes she laughs more easily. Sometimes her voice becomes slightly higher, slower, or more playful without her consciously trying. Why? Because her body feels emotionally activated around you. And here's what nobody explains. People instinctively soften around emotional safety and emotional excitement at the same time. A disconnecting interaction sounds flat. How was your day? Fine. But attraction sounds alive. How was your day? Oh my God, don't even get me started. Suddenly there's animation, emotion, engagement. Because something in her is saying, I want you inside my world. Not louder conversations, not perfect flirting techniques, not rehearsed charisma, but emotional openness slowly becoming visible in real time. And that's the shift that turns casual interactions into emotional connection. 4. She finds reasons to touch you. Now listen carefully to this one, bro. Healthy attraction almost always looks incremental. Not forced, not exaggerated, not invasive. Just small moments of physical closeness that keep happening naturally. Most people in relationships misunderstand touch completely. They think touch is only sexual. But psychologically, touch is often about testing emotional safety first. Can I move closer to you? Do you feel safe to my nervous system? Does being near you feel good? That's the real question underneath the surface. A disconnecting version looks rigid and distant. No unnecessary contact, no relaxed proximity. Everything feels emotionally guarded. But the connecting version is subtle. She lightly touches your arm while laughing. She fixes lint off your hoodie. Her knee stays close to yours instead of pulling away. Tiny things, tiny moments, but emotionally, they carry weight. Because what her nervous system is quietly asking is, can closeness exist here safely? And when touch starts feeling natural instead of strategic, connection stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like gravity. 5. She creates accidental one-on-one moments. And here's what changes everything. People who like you almost always try to reduce emotional competition around you. Most people think flirting is about chasing attention, but real attraction often looks like creating opportunities for uninterrupted connection. That's why she suddenly lingers after everyone leaves, why she keeps extending conversations, why she somehow ends up next to you repeatedly throughout the night. Not coincidence, not randomness, not just being friendly. Emotional curiosity. Most couples never realize this because they're trained to look for obvious signals instead of patterns. But patterns tell the truth. A disconnecting version sounds transactional. All right, see you later. Done. Conversation over. But the connecting version keeps reopening the door. So, wait, one more thing. Actually, I wanted to ask you something. You're leaving already? Because beneath the surface, she isn't trying to end the interaction. She's trying to stay inside it. And when someone consistently creates little pockets of alone time with you, that's when you stop feeling like just another person in the room and start feeling emotionally chosen. 6. She teases you differently than everyone else. This one gets missed constantly. Playfulness is emotional intimacy in disguise. Most people in relationships think teasing is just personality, but attraction changes how someone teases you. There's more focus, more softness, more emotional attention underneath it. Because playful teasing is often someone's nervous system trying to create closeness without becoming too emotionally vulnerable too quickly. It's safer to joke than confess. A disconnecting version feels generic. She jokes with everyone the exact same way. Nothing feels personal. But the connecting version feels emotionally targeted. She remembers your weird habits. She playfully calls out tiny things about you. She creates inside jokes only the two of you understand. And here's the deeper truth. Inside jokes are miniature emotional worlds. They're little private spaces two people create together. And what her brain is quietly registering is, I like how this feels with him specifically. Not manipulation, not riz, not trying too hard. Just two nervous systems slowly becoming more comfortable with each other. And that's when someone stops feeling emotionally distant and starts feeling familiar in the best possible way. 7. She looks at you during emotional moments. And this is the one that matters most. Who someone looks at emotionally tells you everything. Most people focus on attraction during exciting moments. But real emotional interest reveals itself during vulnerable ones. When something surprising happens. When everyone laughs. When tension enters the room. When something meaningful gets said. Who does she instinctively look at? Because humans naturally orient toward the person they feel most emotionally connected to in emotionally charged moments. That's not game playing, that's attachment behavior. A disconnecting version looks emotionally self-contained. She experiences moments alone even when surrounded by people. But the connecting version is different. Something funny happens across the room, and her eyes immediately search for yours. Almost like her nervous system is asking, "Did you feel that too?" And man, that's powerful. Because attraction isn't only about wanting attention from someone. It's about wanting emotional experiences to become shared experiences. That's the beginning of real connection. Not surface-level chemistry, not validation, not temporary excitement, but two people slowly becoming emotionally present inside the same moments together. And that's where relationships actually begin. So if you've noticed these signs in someone lately, don't panic and start overanalyzing every interaction. That's not the point. The point is becoming someone emotionally aware enough to recognize when connection is genuinely trying to form in front of you. Because this isn't really about spotting flirting. It's about learning how human beings naturally reach for each other when attraction, safety, curiosity, and emotional presence start blending together. And when you internalize this, you stop chasing validation and start recognizing connection for what it actually is. Calm, consistent, unspoken, real. These aren't tricks for getting someone to like you. They're the beginning of becoming the kind of emotionally available person who can actually notice and receive genuine connection when it appears. Because here's the truth most people learn way too late. Real attraction rarely announces itself loudly. It reveals itself quietly, in the small moments where someone keeps turning toward you before they even understand why.